Hello, and welcome to episode 54 of the Cat Lady podcast. I'm Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady. That's 2 T's, C-A-T-T. That stands for Craft All the Things. I want to thank you so much to everybody who has sent me messages and reached out to me after last episode's kind of downer. I wasn't feeling very well. I was going to the doctor for some checkup stuff. Well, everything is all clear. I'm just stressed and maybe my diet wasn't... I don't think I was handling my diet very well. I was doing too many new things at once, too many changing vitamins, this and that and that and the next thing. So luckily the blood work all came back normal. I'm feeling better. I'm still stressed a bit, but who isn't? So with that, I just want to thank you. I want to thank everybody who has supported me from the beginning and continues to support me, and even the new people that have popped in and said some very kind words, so I appreciate that all. It is Thursday, May 19th, I think, 2016. And if you have followed me from the beginning, you'll be very curious to know why my cat is hanging out on the table. Very briefly, my cats typically stay in the basement because this one is a little troublemaker and tends to pee on a lot of things. Pee on all the things, I guess you could say, but in the past, I really can't remember the last time he had an incident downstairs, so my lovely husband decided on just a whim, he's like, what will make you happy? I'm sorry you're feeling down, maybe if you bring the cats upstairs. And I said, oh, no, he was just trying to be nice. Well, of course, then that idea got in the brain, like, we haven't had the cats upstairs in a while, so let's give it a try. So I brought them up yesterday, and so I brought them up yesterday, we kept them up for the afternoon and the early evening, and then at dinner time for them, which was like 8, 9 o'clock, I put them back downstairs. So pretty much when we went upstairs to go lounge in bed, I fed them and put them downstairs, and they stayed downstairs for the night, brought them back up in the morning, and here he is. He's been purring and just following me around all morning. Sadie, on the other hand, she's like, what's going on? This isn't right. She spent half the morning still on the basement stairs with the door open. She just stayed on the stairs. Now she's upstairs under my daughter's bed, where she's been pretty much most of the day, that's typical Sadie behavior. She's like, something's not right, I don't know, and then, I'm kind of putting them back and forth, so I think she's a little confused. But I'm hoping that this works, so hoping he has no incidents, and that he can stay up, and we can kind of treat it kind of like similar to a dog, where, sometimes you crate the dog at night, or when you're gone, but when you're home, they can come out and play. So, sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. Again, thank you for tuning in. If you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Ravelry as the Cat Lady. I also have a blog, thecatlady.blogspot.com. If you go to my Ravelry group, that's where I do giveaways and stuff, but I think I'm just going to lay low for a bit for all these things, because I think I'm just trying to streamline the podcast, make things easy, make it fun, and I think all this back-end work, like all the editing and like the giveaway stuff, it's getting a little too much, and it's taking some of the fun out of it. I mean, I love giving stuff away and everything, but I gotta pay for the postage and all these things, so I apologize. I still have prizes to send out, but again, it's like I'm trying to package and post and whatever, so I just haven't gotten to it, so I apologize. Please bear with me. I will get you out your packages. You will get them, I promise. So, I don't know if I said my blog, thecatlady.blogspot.com. I was going to attempt to do a daily blog thing. I did that for a week, and then I didn't. I started feeling really crummy, and so that kind of stopped, but I might still attempt to work on the blog. This week we'll talk about some podcast news, knitting, spinning, crochet, health and wellness, and week in review. And I'm doing things a bit differently, as in I'm just going to pop in pictures of what I'm working on instead of trying to like hold it up and trying to get it to focus and digging through stuff and where's this, where's that. So I already shot all the pictures. I like taking pictures, so I figure, that I have I just went through this morning, took pictures of all my stuff, because I like to post those pictures on Ravelry too anyways, to update my progress on my projects. So I'm like, okay, well we'll try that. Again, we're just trying things, and if it doesn't work and I don't like it, then we'll try something different. We'll go back to, holding everything up crazy. But then, you're going to really get a chance to look at it. I color corrected a little bit so it looks the right colors and etc. So, but we'll jump right into podcast news. I did a new intro. Yeah, but I did a new intro just for the heck of it. I did need to update my photo of me because I don't have purple hair anymore. And I was just thinking, I did just dye my hair reddish, burgundy, whatever, box dye, because those grays are, yeah. When my dad notices that I have gray hair, we have a problem here, so, because he does not notice anything. But, yeah, the last time he came over, he's like, what's in your hair? Like, that's gray. So, yeah. But I was just thinking how I loved the purple. It was so much fun, but boy, did it just damage my hair. I mean, I was dealing with the fried kind of, I still feel like a little, the ends are still kind of fried, and I've had it cut, you know, a couple times since. One time, maybe once since. But I've had it cut since. But I feel like it really killed my hair, so I don't know if I'll do it again or not. It was fun, but I don't know, maybe it'll be a like every couple year thing. So give my hair at least a good year to rejuvenate itself. So, but continuing with news here, we have an intro this week, and again, if you, I will definitely still take the intro. So if you want to come say hi, I will certainly say hi back to you on the podcast. So this week is Grace Knit. She lives with her husband and 3 dogs in North Carolina, and she said some really, really sweet things about the podcast. She just kind of stumbled across it right when I was about ready to throw in the towel, kind of. She said some really nice things, so that really helped kind of keep me motivated. And again, a bunch of you chimed in and have been very supportive, so I'm very appreciative of that. Makes it worthwhile, makes it fun, keeps it fun for me when I know, you know, I know I'm doing this for me, but it's nice when people actually are enjoying it too. So, thank you. And she is also she learned to crochet at 7. She learned to knit as a teenager, so she's been doing both for a very long time, and other crafts as well. She's a dog sitter, and she has a blog. I haven't checked it out yet, but if you are interested in seeing what she's got to talk about, she says she hasn't been active in the last month or so, but she's looking forward to getting back into that. But it's www.whilewalkingmydogs.com. And sorry if you hear David on the camera. He's having a ball of a time upstairs. Podiversary giveaways. I was gonna say this was the deadline, and I was gonna redraw today, but since I didn't record last week, I'm gonna give everybody an extra chance for everything. So last week to claim: Yarn Taxi Driver, Raven Knits 383, and Pussycat 52. Go back to episode 51, I believe it is. Yeah, it's not even in this book. So 51. Go back to episode 51 to see what you've won. Contact me. I haven't sent anything out yet anyway, so it's not like you're missing out. Also, the drawing for the Happy Little Die Pot I will keep open for one more week, or one more session. I'm not sure my recording schedule. It's going to be whenever I feel like recording, I guess. But hopefully at least every other week. If I have stuff to show next week, I feel like I have a lot more to show today, and it's been 2 weeks, so I'm thinking maybe every 2 weeks is going to be good. But if I do happen to get a lot of stuff done in a week, then, well, I'll record that week. So maybe I'll just pop in next week and do the drawing for the giveaway and redraw for the podiversary if I need to, and kind of do some loose ends. Maybe that would be an easy, quickie episode. Fireplace Embers pattern giveaway is going until the end of the month. Yeah, I figure I'll go until the end of the month, which is only a couple weeks, I think. A week. I don't know, this month is flying. Also, there's a coupon code for Debbie Hostos' patterns. CATT30, C-A-T-T 30, for 30% off all her patterns until the end of June. So I need to update the coupon code thread with that too, because that's really cool. And I really should look through her. She's only got a few patterns, but they're really nice, and I should probably jump on and get one of those too. 30% off is pretty decent, and until the end of June, that's really good. But if you go over to the Never Cast Off podcast group, they're having a knit along for the Fireplace Embers shawl, and you can win some prizes for that. So if you win, so I figure we'll do the drawing at the end of the month. You'll still have a whole month, because the knit along goes until the end of June. You'll have a whole month to make the shawl, and it's a DK weight, so it should progress kind of quick. I actually started one, so you'll see that, but it's like this big, so didn't get very far yet. And that's it for podcast news. On to knitting. I have my Neon Now, Plymouth Yarn Neon Now socks that are just the vanilla socks. I decided to do a shorty sock, so I will put in the image of what I have going. Last you saw, I believe I had, where was I? I don't know if I wrote it down. Vanilla socks. Nope, I didn't put where I left off, but it's done. The first one's done. I decided to make it shorty, and my reasoning was not only because May is going too fast and I want to finish them at the end of the month, but mainly because Emily really liked the yarn and I'd like to make her a pair of socks too. So I make a shorty pair for me, I can make a pair for her, and I'm actually going to put a heel in hers this time instead of the tube socks, because I feel like, I know the purpose of those is they're supposed to be able to, you know, I don't know if I'm making them long enough because she's growing out of them so quick. And I feel like they're just not as comfortable. I think I'd be more comfortable for her with a heel. So I'm going to make a pair of her, make her a pair. And I'm using the 00 Carbons needles that I got from Jen, the Uncreative Crafter. A vanilla sock with a Fish Lips Kiss heel. And that's it. And I'm doing an informal Neon Now knit along with Kim from the Crafty Nomad podcast. So, and I think she said she's making Rose City rollers. So look at, we're totally making matching socks anyways. Because those are shorty socks too. So next up on knitting is the Fireplace Ember Shawl by Debbie Hostas. I'm using US 8, and I'm using the Decadent Fibers Pulled Taffy in a red color. I don't know if, I didn't grab the tag, I don't know if it has a colorway name, I don't think it did. But I got this from Rhinebeck, and here's the picture of the shawl and the yarn. And it was in the bargain bin. It was like an 8-ounce skein, and it was like 20 bucks. I'm like, oh, this is just amazing, you know? I'm like, of course, I'm gonna, you know, it's a pretty red, and it's a mohair merino blend. I had never used a mohair blend, which, you know, it seems fine. But, yeah, I went to cake it up, and it had 9 knots in it. So, now I know why it was in the bargain bin. I kept them in there. I'm just gonna kind of work with it. They were done. They were tied real tight, and I kind of snipped around them. I'm not gonna like rush and join or graft or anything or weave in all those ends because it's really not gonna be noticeable. I usually don't knit with knots, but for 9 of them, I'm just going with it. So we'll see how it goes. I might change my mind. Obviously, when I get to one, we'll see how they look. And it depends on what part of the pattern I'm in. If I'm in like a lacy section, then we might have a problem. Except that's going to be a problem for weaving in too, so I might have to join. So I think it's just going to depend on how it knits up. But hopefully it's just in a stockinette or garter section or whatever, so can always hope. But that's a lot. And that's it for knitting, I think. I still have my Time Traveler socks on the needles. I still have the Across the Pond on the needles, but I haven't touched those, so. Because I've been working on other things. I have been a cat lady this week. I have crafted all the things, finally, so more than one thing at least. So on to spinning. So last I talked to you, I had started my fiber addiction. See, that's the only problem with going 2 weeks. If I don't write down where I left off, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So let's see, my finished object, you saw the fiber optics. Yes, I did start to spin it. So I finished all my singles and I'm working on plying it. 2-ply. I don't think I spun that even, so I'm getting a lot of weird, like, where thick and thin spots, and like where one strand is thick and one is thin, so it kind of looks spirally, but whatever. You know, I'm fine. I'm not really that picky. It's hand spun. It's supposed to kind of be eclectic, at least in my opinion. So, because I'm not a machine, damn it. So, so yeah, as of when I wrote my notes, I said I was almost done with my singles, but I finished my singles and I'm now applying, and there's a picture of what's going on. So since it's still on my wheel and I can't pull it off. So that's all for spinning, so I'm hoping to finish that up today or tomorrow. I do really need to push it on the socks. I'd like to get the socks done since I kind of have a deadline for that. I don't really have a deadline for anything else. And next up, crochet. So when have I talked about crochet? Not since probably November or December, when I was trying to frantically make washcloths for a craft sale that never happened, which was good. I didn't want it to happen at that point because all I had was a handful of washcloths. So for Mother's Day, Emily and David both gave me some yarn, which I will talk about in stash. And so Jim just took them to Joann's and they wandered around and picked out what they liked, which of course they picked out the giantest skeins of yarn they could find, which is pretty funny. So I got this giant skein of yarn from Emily and a giant skein of yarn from David. Emily's was worsted, David's was bulky. Still not enough and I decided I've been wanting to make the kids blankets. And I thought, okay, I don't know if I have the patience to knit a blanket because that's going to take forever. I might be able to manage a crochet blanket. I don't crochet very well, but I can do basic things. It's the patterns that, well, I take that back. It's not all patterns. It's really just the construction. Like I had 2 blankets I was choosing from. I was going to do the large granny square blanket, so just one giant granny square, or there was a ripple blanket I was going to work on. And I did a swatch. Started a swatch of the ripple blanket because I did like it. It was like a ripply, it's like a wavy chevron. And I will go back and visit it again and ask some of my buddies for assistance if I need to, which I will. But the way I did the first row, where I chained, and then I did the first repeat, or setup, whatever. Then I went to do the second row and I did something wrong. I understood what the pattern said and I was doing it, but I think I was doing it in the wrong spot. Like, because there's holes and there's chains and there's this and that, and I don't think I was doing it in the right place. So I realized that after the fact, like, you know, a day or two later, like maybe that wasn't right. Well, I knew it wasn't right, but maybe it kind of clicked in my head that maybe I think I know what I did wrong. But I need to go back and try again. So in the meantime, I'm doing the Granny Square blanket by Sarah Hearn. I'm using a hook size eye. And I'm using the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo in Pretty in Pink and the Bernat Super Value in white and black. And so I'm alternating pink, white, pink, black, pink, white, pink, black. Since I have the giant thing of pink and then 2 smaller things of white and black. And I think I'm aiming for a 65-inch square blanket, which I measured one of my throw blankets that I use on the couch all the time. And that's a good size throw for like an adult because I'd love it to be something she can use forever, you know, that she can take to college, you know, that kind of thing. So a memento from mom that will last a lifetime. It's a good throw, wrap around your shoulders, kind of lay on the couch. And so that's the size of my blanket that I use. And the pattern called for a 45 by 45. So it's not that much bigger. I mean, it's bigger, you know, but I don't know, it seems reasonably big, a reasonable amount, but I think the 45 by 45 will use all the yarn I have according to the pattern. And however, I think the pattern was DK and I'm using a worsted, so you know, and I'm using a bigger hook, so we'll see what happens. But crochet definitely eats up the yarn, so, but it's inexpensive yarn, so I'm not gonna be concerned if I have to buy some more yarn. And then I will attempt to do the same thing for David. David bought me a giant skein of Big Twist. I think it's I don't know if that's I think it's the new Joanne brand. And it's a bulky. So I'm going to do 2 colors. So I'm going to get another skein of Big Twist in some kind of color. And I'll do 2 colors. So alternating around. And yeah, I don't know how much yarn I'll need. I don't know what hook size I'll use. But 1 blanket at a time. And yeah. So that's all I got going for crochet. I just was looking at my time hop today, and about a year ago to this day, I had posted, hey, I'm going to crochet this cowl. It was a real pretty Lion brand cowl. Totally didn't happen. I did try it. I tried it with some really obnoxious yarn that was probably really bad to crochet with. It just was not good for a beginner. It was the Lion brand Landscapes, which is like a single ply type yarn and really fuzzy. Once you kind of crochet it, it's really hard to pull it back out if you make a mistake. So that wasn't a very, very good idea, but I think that turned into the handbrake. I don't think I ended up using it for, yeah, anyways. So I made that handbrake instead with that. So I did make a cowl with it, but now I'm thinking maybe for camp, I can warrior camp, which I forgot to talk about that. I'll pop that in when I talk about health and wellness. But maybe I'll use that as one of my goals to crochet this cowl that I really liked and was supposed to do a year ago and never did. So on to stash. Last time I spoke to you, I told you I was ordering some green yarn for Ravelry D-Stash for the heels of my Time Traveler socks. So I got that. And it's the Lion brand Sock Ease. I think it's green apple colorway. And then I'll show you pictures of the yarn I got for my kids for Mother's Day. So we have the Big Twist and the Super Saver Jumbo Red Heart, and then the Bernat Super Saver in white and black. I also got a gift card from my husband to Joann Fabrics. So yay, I get to go buy more crafty stuff. And then I also got a pattern, which I have to remember to put the picture in too. Pattern up from a friend of mine when, you know, all my health crap was going on. So this is the Cattails. It's a cardigan sweater from Melissa Shashwari. So very pretty. I still need to finish my first sweater before I attempt another sweater, but I really like cardigans and I think that would be a really, really fun project to work on. So maybe in the winter or fall, you know, nice cozy sweater project. And that's it for stash. And on to health and wellness. I'm feeling better, mostly. I'm tired. But I mean, I'm just tired. You know, and I think it's more just, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's been birthday parties to plan. Now I'm already in the midst of trying to plan David's birthday party, and we're back and forth with, okay, do we have a friend party? This was when Emily turned 4, we had a friend party. It was our first year we had a friend party. So we thought, okay, it's David's time for a friend party. Well, so I asked him, what friends do you want? I don't know. Who do you play with at school? I don't know. I don't know their name. I asked his teacher, you know, he's got a couple friends he plays with. But is it really worth, you know, I don't really want a bunch of 4-year-olds running around my house because I see how they are at school and, okay. The 6-year-olds, it was okay for Emily's party, but I'm not sure I'm down with the 4-year-olds. They're loud and messy and grabby and, yeah. So I'm not really feeling an at-home party. So then we started pricing out like an inflatable place, you know, bounce house kind of deal, or there's a Lego place. And it's okay, it's doable. It's not too bad. And then my husband's like, you know, what if we offered David a year-round family pass to the aquarium? There's a new aquarium that just opened up at the mall. It's not great, but he loves it. We went once for his birthday. We went for his birthday last year, and he still talks about it, about going to the aquarium. And so I asked him today. I said, would you like a friend party, or would you like to go to the aquarium? Wow, this really sidetracked. I'm talking health and wellness, and here I am talking about the David's birthday party. But anyways, so I asked him if he wanted a birthday party with friends or if he wanted to go to the aquarium all the time. And he said, I want to go to the aquarium all the time. I want to see the turtles, and I like the sharks, and I like the fish, and I like the statue. There's some weird Atlantis-looking statue, like, under the water. So like, okay, so we'll consider that, and I would love that so much better. It would be so much easier. We wouldn't have to plan a party. Wouldn't have to deal with all that junk, because he doesn't. It's like, okay, he doesn't have a lot of. He's only at school a couple days a week. He's a boy that just does his own thing, you know, and not in a bad way. He can play well with others. I just had his conferences yesterday, and so yeah, it's just so much different than Emily, but not bad. So, anyways, health and wellness. My blood work came back normal, as I mentioned earlier. So it's either, you know, womanly time of the month related, hormonal, or it's just my diet that I was kind of doing a lot of different things. I was changing my vitamins, I was eating different, I was doing all these things. I think too much at one time, at the wrong period of time, like that time of the month. So I'm gonna step back. I'm kind of back to just eating whatever, which is fine. I'm not doing anything ridiculous, but of course, you know, we had Emily's party, and I had cake and candy, and we had a whole candy bar, and, you know, or like a bar with candy on it for them to pick out a bunch of candy and eat while they watched a movie. So, okay, so whatever. But I will start slowly introducing things. I'm going to start taking my vitamins again. I've been taking a multivitamin, but now I'm going to work some of my extras in there, so like my vitamin D, and I was taking a B and a C and whatever, so do it slow. Hubby and I do want to eat better still, and again, we don't eat bad. We really don't eat bad, but there are a lot of snacks and lots of cheese, you know, things like that. And I'm still not losing any weight, but I'm working out, but I'm not working out daily like I was. I'm kind of every other day, every couple days, just trying to figure out a good balance. So, but in working out news, so I've been trying to get Jim to work out with me. Like, he needs to exercise. He's going to the doctor on Monday, and I think they're going to want to put him on medication for cholesterol. So, like, we really don't want that. And he had like 6 months to change his diet, and we just didn't do it, and he just couldn't get motivated to work out. So the other day, last weekend, he randomly hooked up the Wii Fit, the video game, that like supposed to be like fitness related. So you get on this board and it weighs you and it tells you all these things. It tells you your BMI or whatever. He was like borderline obese. He's overweight, okay? He's not huge, but he's overweight. But you have this little character that like is on the screen. Well, this little character is like this pudgy little fat rotund, me. So he's like, oh my gosh, he was so embarrassed and like freaking out. So now he's motivated to work out. So he's worked out a bit, and so when he works out, it makes me work out because I'm not going to sit on the couch while he works out, of course, because, but he's only working out right now 20-25 minutes, which is totally fine. So I've been kind of cutting mine down because I was like, we want to spend the evening together. So if he's working out for 25 minutes and I'm working out for an hour and then I got a shower, it's like he's done already on the couch before I even come in. And so I've been working out a little less, but I have been going to karate every week, and it's awesome. I love it. I love karate. I just love it. Been learning like self-defense stuff, and it's so much fun. But I wore my fitness watch the other day when I went on Tuesday, and man, I just burned the calories, and it didn't feel like it. I was winded. I was breathing hard and working it, but it just didn't feel like a workout, because it was just so different. But it is a lot of fun. And I'm going to test for my yellow belt coming June 3rd, so in a couple weeks. So I'm excited about that. And then she's kind of hoping to push me hard to the orange belt, so hopefully within a month or so I can get my orange belt, and then I can help Emily more. So, because Emily's going to take a bit more time to progress. And it would be helpful if we could practice at home, but she's learning yellow belt stuff, and it's getting harder for me to follow along with what they're actually doing compared to the white to yellow. So that's cool. So speaking of health and wellness, there's Warrior Camp coming up, and we're going to start in June, so that's only a couple weeks away. So we really got to kind of get our act together a little bit. But I've been kind of so I'm sure Ren and Laura are like, oh, what's going on? But we're gonna gung ho. Basically, you set up a fitness goal and you set up a crafting goal. So for me, I will crochet. I want to crochet that cowl. I don't have to finish it. I just have to put a really fair attempt to it, and the point system will reflect that. So you get a point if you came and checked in, but you didn't do anything. You get another point. You get 2 points if you tried, but it just didn't succeed. I don't know if did I write this down? Yes. You get 3 points if you completed one of your tasks. So I crocheted my cowl. Now, okay, obviously I may not. I at least got half of it done or something. Set a reasonable goal for your craft. So if you think you can't, so it's a week. So I could probably crochet a cowl in a week, realistically. So I would say I want to finish my cowl. Now, if you're nervous, I am nervous because maybe I would just say, okay, I want to finish 50% of the cowl. Because if I really have a hard time, since if it was knitting, sure, I can get a cowl done in a week. But a pair of socks, I'm not going to get a pair of socks done in a week, so I would say knit the foot of sock or something. That's about a reasonable goal I could get through the week, but it's got to be something challenging, which that would not be a challenge. So let's say 50% of a crocheted cowl is my crafty goal, and then cut out sugar for a week. That's my fitness goal. That would be a challenging goal for me, and that would be doable. So 1 point for just checking in, but you just didn't do it. but you checked in. 2 points if you really tried, but just couldn't get it. 3 points if you completed one of your goals. So I finished my cowl. 4 points if you completed both. So I finished my cowl and I stayed sugar-free for a week. And that's kind of how it's going to work. We have some random prizes, some bags, some patterns. Maybe get some. I think someone was going to donate some yarn, and I was going to take a glance at maybe some of the local yarn shops and see what I can find there. We have some AdvoCare samples, a shaker bottle, stitch markers, protein bars. So we're trying to find kind of fitness related stuff too. If you have anything you want to donate for prizes, please let me know. We'd love to have anything you got. So even like some kind of workout-y things. Got any good workout DVDs? I don't know. They could be good though. Not like ones that you just trying to get rid of. So that's it for health and wellness. Weekend review. So, couple weekend review. Mother's Day, we had a really nice weekend. It was Emily's birthday on Saturday, and then Mother's Day on Sunday. So we kind of had a combo celebrate Emily's birthday a little bit with the family and Mother's Day. My mom and stepdad were there, and we went to my in-laws. And then we had my sister-in-law and her husband, and then her husband's parents were there too. So it was kind of a big group. It was a lot of fun. Got to play outside. It was kind of a nice day, and I'll put in some pictures. It was just a kind of a cool, nice little get-together. I got my camo belt in karate. That was kind of random, but so I assumed it was just for the children, but for like a motivation, because it's not really. They kind of just say, okay, the colors green, brown, black represent, what your goal is from karate, because those are the three of the higher colors. And it's, the kids get excited when they get to, it's kind of like you come consistently for a couple weeks and then you get your camo belt. But it's the same as a white belt as far as your learning. So, but I got that and that was fun. And Emily got to see me get it, so that was really cool too. So, and she got a stripe on her belt for good behavior. So she has a chart she fills out. So when she does something that's extraordinarily good, so like she helped a friend at school who was crying, or she helped David get dressed, or something that's not the norm as far as a basic chore using, not like she said please. So she held open the door without being asked for somebody. She has to do like 10 things and she gets a stripe. And after 3 stripes, she's eligible to test for, in addition to knowing the stuff, she's eligible to test for her next belt. And I think they say the kids are pretty much required to wait 3 months. So, which technically she'd be eligible then in like July or August, but so I need to work on getting her, she just needs to know stuff, and she knows it, but she's shaky. So we need to work on that a bit. We had Emily's birthday party this past weekend. It was the PJs and pizza theme. I'll put in some pictures of that too. We watched a movie, we did crafts. One of the crafts we did was paint your own pillow, or a fabric marker pillowcase. So the kids got to color their own pillowcases. And I actually did a sample. I took one of the bags that the pillowcases came in. So it was a set of 2 pillowcases and they came in a little sack. And I'll put a picture of that too. So I did a sample just to see how it was going to work out. That's really cute. I really like it. I'm thinking now like I can make bags and color motifs on it and do those for something different. So that could be fun. And then we had a lot of snacks and we did pizza and cake. And we had a photo booth. I did a DIY photo booth, which was really cute. I really had fun with that. So I was actually off in the corner here, and I put streamers on the wall, and I had my iPad set up to the tripod, and had a photo booth app, and then I ended up transferring the pictures to my computer and printed them all out in the little strips. So that was fun. I'm just now like recovered from that. I feel like it was just like it took like 2 or 3 days to get over just party planning. It's stressful, and it's a lot of work even when it's at your own house. Well, it's actually more work when it's at your own house. What I've been saying, when you go out, you just go out and they do everything. So, but yeah, so that's it. Trying to get back into a workout routine. I'm mixing it up a lot. I'm doing, the last time I just did some practice to my karate. So I did a lot of kicks and punches, and I'd stop and do, push-ups, or stop and do jumping jacks, and just kind of, like, it's called the free form. It was like make it up as you go. Work out for 30 minutes, and I burned the same amount of calories I did when I do my kickboxing circuit. So, just keeping it real. And I've also been back to my Fitness Blender videos. I did those a couple years ago, and those were really good. They're really good. If you really want just no nonsense, no funky music, no like you can do it stuff. Just 2 people, 2 cute people, pretty much, because they're fit and just normal people. Working out, I'm telling you what to do. That's it. They're on a white background. They say, okay, jumpy jacks, let's go. Okay, sit-ups, let's go. And that's it. It's like so nice because I've done things like the 30-day shred, and you got all this music and the dialogue that's just like, oh, after the 10th time watching it, you're like, just shut up. So, fitnessblender.com, I highly recommend. So, they have tons of full-length videos ranging from 15 minutes to probably over an hour. I usually stick to the ones that are 30 to 60 minutes. And some use weights, some use nothing. Usually you need like a mat to lay on, but you know, the body weight ones where it just requires you to stand there and use your body weight. And then there's ones that require some, I'm trying to think if there's anything other than like free weights. I don't think they do any machine stuff or anything, but yeah, they're like perfect exercises for regular people. I don't know what he's doing over there. In other fitness news, I guess I wanted to start doing yoga. I'd like to do like yoga. I want to do like a yoga pose a day. Just one pose a day, just to try it out. So if you know any good yoga websites that have just you know, a list of poses, beginner poses, it'd be kind of fun to do. Good stretching, you know, maybe in the morning or right before bed, or I don't know. Just thinking of things to do. So that's it. Hopefully this episode comes together well. Hopefully I don't spend too much time on the computer. Like I said, I already took all the pictures, so I should just be able to pop them in. And I'm not going to do show notes. Maybe my good old pal Tanya will pop in and do some notes. She is not required to at all. But I will, if she likes to do it when she watches. You know, gives her something to do while she's watching. She can just type in some notes. So she's more than willing to do that. Well, because she laughed at me. She's like, you told me that you made me a moderator and said I could do show notes and stuff, but then you've been doing all your show notes. Because I feel guilty. Because she was doing my show notes and then like a couple times, and then I'm like, oh, I feel bad that you're doing show notes, but she likes it, so I need to just let it go. If she wants to do my notes, that's great. If she doesn't, if you have any questions about anything I've worked on, all my project pages are up to date. They have main needle sizes. They aren't I'm using. They all have pictures right now. We're in progress. So I mean, I do try to keep those. I like keeping those up to date. So all the information is there. If you have any questions, you can email me. craftycatlady@gmail.com if you want to email me. Actually, email me, but you can message me on Ravelry. You can message me on a Facebook group. You can direct message me on Instagram. I am very easy to get a hold of. So if you have any questions about anything I've talked about, please come say hi. If you just want to say hi, I like chatting, so come say hi. I may not respond right away because I got children and life stuff, but I always try to respond. And if I don't, just bug me because it's not intentional. So with that, I will say goodbye. I hope everyone gets to craft all the things. I hope I get to craft some more things this week. And next time I record, I will do drawings for the Happy Little Die Pot. I will do redrawings if need be for the Potversary. I will do my best to try to get out prizes that are for those who have already contacted me. And that's it. So check out the Ravelry group for any updated giveaways or anything that's going on. The podcast is always updated on Ravelry. So thank you, and I will see you next time.